interceptions. They're the ugliest interceptions.
They're overthrows. He's doing it on purpose sometimes.
It looks like it.
It's picked off by Seattle Maxwell. Oh, man, what an interception. The fourth of the day for Eli Manning.
It's a different part of the offense. When Carmelo Anthony's at the power forward position, he has more room to operate because even though bigger players are on him, he can just shoot over them. He's faster than bigger players in the league.
So that's what makes Carmelo Anthony special.
Yes.
Special. He's a special player because not everybody can do that.
In the hands of Anthony. Anthony for three. Puts it in! Next by one with 8.2 remaining.
But you know what's going to shock the world is if somebody comes closer to the Yankees. Cano, I don't think he's going to hesitate that much or just leave him. Think he may just leave?
Nah, he's going to stay.
Robinson Cano has agreed to sign with the Mariners.
Just fortunately for the Giants, they were on the winning end of the sloppy game.
They were less of a slob on the dinner table.
Listen to this.
The Giants were less of a slob than the Raiders were at the dinner table, and the dinner table was the football field.
I don't know how you do it. I don't understand. You come up with these things off the top of your head.
On the spot.
A-Rod and Jeter both brought in more fan excitement. There was always more of a buzz.
1-2. He loops out the left field. Going to be a tough play. Jeter on the run, makes the play, and flies into the stands. Oh, what a play by Derek Jeter!
You know how excited I am?
I know. I could see it in your face.
I'm more excited than a caterpillar on the day turning into a butterfly. That's how excited I am for the Knicks coming back.
And we are sitting here, two legends of the trade. Mm-hmm. Sports broadcasting is what we do.
That's what we do, man.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
How much you can take and keep moving forward.
That's what we doing on AB Conversation. We moving forward from our last segment into our second.
Segment. That's how winning is done, Ben. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, we move forward. We get in there with new topics, and
it's a mentality.
We let the people know what is going on in the sports world that we call the sports world.
I like that.
All right, Ben, take it away.
Today on AB Conversation, we have a special guest, and that's my guy, Carlos Hoyos. You say something,
Carlos.
How's everybody doing?
Carlos, welcome to the show,
welcome.
And thank you for being here. Your time is much appreciated.
Gracing our presence.
Because as you know, we're too boring to do this show without guests. So we need people like you.
We switch it up.
Yeah, to switch it up and make things interesting for us. So Carlos, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I graduated from New Rochelle High School about 2 years ago. After high school, I found a job, became a tour guide at Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium?
Yep.
Anthony.
I think you said the right words. I think I'm taking you home for dinner at this point. Yankee Stadium's like the magic word for me. But that is awesome. So tell us a little bit about that.
I usually get a group of like 30, 35 people. We take a trip around the stadium. We go into the museum, Monument Park. We go into the dugout, the clubhouse.
So
step on the warning track sometimes.
That is awesome. So how much nostalgia, how much majesty is in that place that we call Yankee Stadium?
It's not as great as the old stadium, unfortunately, which was tore down. But
true.
I don't know why they did that, but it's a nice feeling seeing the whole stadium empty.
Right.
It's cool. It feels like it's your own place.
Now you got this job when when the new stadium was built, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you never did any tours in the old stadium?
No, unfortunately not. Which I heard it was actually a lot more packed in the old stadium. I heard they'd get 65, 70 people.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, that is amazing. And now tell us a couple of players you've seen walk by.
I've met Jim Leyritz, Roy White, Mickey Rivers. We've had Mariano Rivera actually walk by on one of the tours.
Now Ben, these are legends of the game.
You got the All-Star team right under his belt.
I would take those three men, Ben, over Cano or any time or anybody
especially
like that.
Cano.
Especially Cano. At this point, yeah, Cano can go take a walk.
A favorite of mine is actually Doc Gooden. He stopped by. He played with the Mets and Yankees. Actually won a World Series with both of them.
These are Hall of Famers. performers, Carlos. These are people that you want to see.
Yeah.
So no captain, no Derek Jeter yet.
Nah, not yet. Unfortunately, not.
Unfortunately. So when are you going to be going back to work there?
The 15th. I was off because of the NHL games going on.
It was nice to see that there at the Yankee Stadium incorporating hockey.
It was. Did you watch the Winter Classics, Ben?
No, I watched Knicks.
I never have to know what to ask Ben. You know, I know he's always watching the Knicks. He's always watching the Knicks. If the world is ending, what's Ben doing? He's watching the Knicks.
On MSG.
He wants to make sure that, you know, they win, but that's been tough for the Knicks to do this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll say this year in total.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm a support. You know, so Carlos, are you a Yankees fan? Obviously, now you're a Knicks fan as well.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And do you follow football?
Yeah.
And what fan are you there?
As of recent, it's Rams. I've had a hard time finding a team.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. The Rams are a
greatest show on turf.
So you like the old Rams?
The old, yeah. Marshall Falk, Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce.
Yeah.
Isaiah Hakeem, Kurt Warner. It was a squad. It was a good team.
That was a good team.
It was.
Terry Holt, I miss him.
Yeah.
He was good.
Have you seen his middle finger?
No.
Is it like 7 feet long?
Yeah, it looks like a fork in the road.
Oh my gosh, that you know, the Rams have had their share, but that's great to hear. Yeah. So
they're on the rise.
I like to hear when there's you know, a variety of teams that people support.
Yeah.
Because it's not always New York, but we're all New York, Ben, right? We're pretty much all New York. You know, that's what we do here. But so I want to ask you, Carlos, would you feel comfortable if I asked you a question where I put you in the spot of a Yankees analyst?
It's fine with me.
Okay, because I feel like you have good knowledge about the Yankees. Working there, just from the way you name those players. I want to ask you, Carlos, where are the New York Yankees going in 2014?
Unfortunately, I think 2014 is going to be a slow year. It's going to lead to a lot of rebuilding. I think we still have some holes in the pitching staff. And a little bit in the infield. We need to work on the infield a little bit more. But some good transactions were made.
So do you feel like the 2014 is going to be a total loss like last year? Or do you feel like there's going to be some progress made? Or
I think it's going to be a little bit worse than last year.
Really?
Yeah, in years to come, I think they'll get better and better.
Wow, so you think that the acquisition of Masahiro Tanaka, the acquisition of Carlos Beltran, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Brian McCann, with the possible pitching of Michael Pineda, coming back from injury, is going to make the team worse?
Well, I feel like we don't know how Tanaka's going to do. He's a great pitcher.
We don't. I agree with you.
Yeah, but who was it? Daisuke Matsuzaka fell off after a little bit.
Ben, as a Yankees fan, you know, we talk about the Yankees a lot. Now, Kei Gawa, do you remember him?
Kei who? What?
See, exactly. I wanted you to say you don't remember him because we don't. Kei Gawa was acquired by the Yankees years ago as another huge Japanese contract. Came over here, wound up in the minor leagues. Hideki Irabu, before any of your times, before my time, I think, back in like the late 90s, early 2000, a huge bust to the point where they spent so much money and George Steinbrenner called him a fat toad on the mound.
Don't forget.
Do you know him? Do you remember these guys?
Nah, I actually don't even remember.
Do you remember Carl Pavano?
Oh my God! Don't even get me started on that. The guy hurt his ass and he couldn't pitch. That's what happened.
Tailbone problems.
Okay, so the Yankees have had their share of busted contracts, but they also had Hideki Matsui.
Yes.
Hideki Matsui, right?
Yeah, that's a good example.
So we gotta hope that Masahiro Tanaka is that one gem, like Matsui was, that'll help this team towards the 28th World Series ring.
I'm just wondering why they always go after outfielders. I feel like the outfielders are stacked every season, and yet that's what they go after all the time.
With the acquisition of Beltran and Ellsbury?
And 3 years is too much for Beltran. I mean, he's 38.
There's a problem. Ben, disagree with me or agree with me with this.
Okay.
There's a problem with every one of the acquisitions they've made, and I'll tell you what they are. Beltran, as Carlos just said, is aging. If he gets hurt, it's going to be a huge bust.
Yes.
Do you agree with that?
Agreed.
Do you think he will get hurt?
No, hopefully not.
All right, hopefully not.
Hopefully
that doesn't
not.
sound too assertive.
Yeah.
Jacoby Ellsbury is a young player. He gets hurt a lot. That's another issue.
Yes.
Do you believe that he's going to be productive for New York?
Hopefully for the first half of the season and the second half, but I don't think he's going to last the second half of the season.
See, we got a problem right there. As Carlos brought up, Masahiro Tanaka was given a major $155 million contract for a guy who's never pitched in the major leagues. With all the busts we named, can we be that sure he's going to turn out to be an ace?
we are not sure that he'll turn out to be an ace.
Did I miss somebody? Brian McCann. He may be the only one I'm confident will be good.
That was a
Solid.
good acquisition, yeah. He just looks weird that he had to shave. It looks...
Yeah, he looks very weird, like an alien or something. This is my only problem. Carlos and Ben, jump in, whoever wants to. Did the New York Yankees have any other choice but to attack the free agency market and get the guys they got? Did they have a choice?
Nah, I don't think so. I think it's difficult being in New York, being patient. It never really works. You have to use the money that you have and try to get talent
Exactly.
in order to bring in the money.
And now, Ben, do you think that the Yankees would have been better off by not going after these players?
No. They always have people in the seats, but it would be better if they're winning.
Exactly. Now, this is the problem why the Yankees were not able to just pass up this huge free agent market this year. And I'll tell you one thing. It's their farm system.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Yankees do not have a good farm system. They have prospects. Mason Williams is an outfielder. They have
few good crops in the harvest.
There we go, Ben with the analogies. Do you hear his analogies, Carlos, sometimes?
Yeah,
They're amazing.
every episode he has at least one of them.
That's what we're known for. This show is based off your analogies.
Thank you.
They have Gary Sanchez, who's an up-and-coming catcher. The point is, they don't have anybody in that farm system, especially with pitching, or really that is going to shock you and say, wow, we can't wait till this kid comes up.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. And one big thing the Yankees are going to try and do is make a mark in the international market this upcoming year, because the MLB is going to be putting a big amount of penalty fines for those who go over their salary cap in the international market. So you know how the normal draft
Yes.
and stuff like that, or I shouldn't say the draft, the normal salary caps that they have, if they go over, they're penalized. Well, now they're taking that to the international market.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So the Yankees are going to try and go to the Dominican Republic, Japan, wherever they can go, and bring back a whole bunch of talent because their farm system sucks.
Cheap talent at that.
Yeah.
It's like a whole bunch of Anthony Bennett's in their farm system.
Yeah. And Anthony Bennett, as you brought that up. How about a little NBA talk?
NBA.
You guys are both NBA fans.
Aficionados, you can say.
What about that Lakers-Cavaliers game?
Yo, that
The
game.
Cavs are terrible.
Chris Kaman made that game a snore fest, and his team won.
Why don't you take us through the situation, Ben? What happened during that game?
This week it was a Wednesday game.
Yeah, I believe so.
Wednesday game. The Los Angeles Lakers took a plane to Cleveland to play the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Lakers roster was plummeted throughout the game, and the starting of the game and throughout the game. With the fourth quarter, around 3 minutes and 22 seconds, Robert Sacre fouled out. When you foul out, you got to leave the game. You can't play no more when you're fouled out.
That is true.
But the Lakers only had 5 players on the roster.
That is true.
So Robert Sacre, according to the NBA rules, was allowed to play. If he got fouled, it would be a technical shot.
So the Lakers went down from having 8 players to begin, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Down to 5. And then 4.
With an asterisk. 5 with an asterisk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the 6th foul in that situation, when everybody else is, all your substitutions are not able to play, you're allowed to play with 6 fouls.
Yeah.
So, I mean, an absolutely crazy game. And what's surprising is the fact the Lakers won the game.
And
By a lot, and they
Yeah.
led the entire game. I think if it wasn't such a far game for the Cavaliers, that the rule wouldn't matter as much. Since it was such a big loss, that it actually mattered.
Exactly. And that, it was just, I mean, the Lakers have been in a crapshoot for a long time now.
Yes.
I mean, with the injuries to Kobe and Nash. Nash is just recently back. But
Farmar's been injured as well.
yeah, Farmer's been
But
injured.
what I don't understand is they have a total of 14 men on their roster, including D-League and all of that.
Right.
So why aren't they brought in as active players for the game? Why would they come with 8?
They just cut Manny Harris.
Oh,
Manny
did they?
Manny Harris was killing.
That's true. But you know what? If anything I'd like to see, it's the Knicks get chopped down to 5 players and tell them go out and play.
Yes.
Because that's what they deserve.
Yeah.
Because a team like the Lakers, let's all agree, fine, they're not what they used to be. But if a team can come out and put up what they put up with and win, that's a team.
The Lakers beat them so bad that the GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers got fired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
See that is amazing because it shows that there's a sense of strength and grittiness. When you have nothing, you make something out of nothing, and that's what the Lakers did. And it was just, above all that analysis I'm giving, it was a fun game to watch.
Yes.
It was fun.
I feel like it was more of a Cavaliers loss than a Lakers win, though. If you think they have top 4 picks in the last 3 years,
Right.
and you're losing to a 5-man team. That's not a good team this season.
Exactly.
In that game, you could have had Cleveland Cavaliers player put on Lakers jerseys and have them play against each other.
Yeah,
That's true. I wonder, is that now? That would never be able to happen though.
Oh no.
In schoolyard play, I know I've played on baseball teams where we did that sometimes.
Really?
And it wasn't even like just fooling around. Like I said, schoolyard play. It was more like a
Competitive actual game.
It was a league, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we would switch. We would give a player to the other team if the case was we were going to forfeit.
You traded for some bubble gum?
Put some big league chew up
I
there.
think in the MLB, if you get traded mid-game to the team you're playing, you can actually switch. You can switch dugouts right there and actually participate.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
But otherwise in NBA news, how about that Lowry?
Kyle Lowry.
Oh, terrible call.
Phantom foul.
Offensive
terrible
foul.
Phantom foul. So Ben, why don't you analyze what happened in that situation?
Kyle Lowry and the Toronto Raptors played the Sacramento Kings. Kyle Lowry and the Raptors were down about 5 points at the time.
I think so, yeah.
It was okay. They were down, and they could have came back. Kyle Lowry shoots a 3-point ball. It's good. The shot went in, and the whistle blew. They thought it was an and one, a defensive foul on the Sacramento King defender. Wrong. The ref called an offensive foul on Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry's about 5'11", and the reason the foul was called because his legs were pushed up on the 3. He really didn't touch the defender.
I think it was a bad call, but in that case, if it's such a close game, you have to keep your composure. You can't get ejected, get these technical fouls.
He already had a technical, and he ran on the other side of the court.
So, okay, beautiful. You always bring up the right thing. So this is what I've been dying to ask you for a while, Ben. You know how we have sports definition of the week?
Okay.
I want you to, this is not a particular word, but you're going to define for everybody listening what it means when a player runs the length of the court after a call.
Showing up the ref. Showing up the ref is you're doing something displeasurable. If you say that's preposterous or other bad words like that, if you run across the field, if you throw your hand out at the ref, that's showing up the ref. And in that situation, you receive a technical foul for showing up the ref.
I just don't understand it. Why do you run the length of the court? Why don't you just argue like you do in baseball, face to face?
It's a different game.
It's a different game, and I kind of see it, but and I think that you don't want to be called for a foul, for another foul in that instance. But the thing is that it's just unique to me how they run the length of the court.
LeBron James did that in the playoff against the Pacers.
Yeah,
Ron Artest did
LeBron
that
always does
times.
that.
Jason Kidd's actually popular for sticking his leg out
Against the
to
Nets
draw,
last
to
year,
draw
yep.
a foul. Yeah, he does that.
In that particular play that we're talking about, the phantom foul, the refs have seen Lowry do that before.
But he's 5'11".
Right.
There's no
Now,
physics.
I'm agreeing with you. I
Okay.
feel like if you watch that as a referee, you have to see he's in his normal form.
Yes.
He's shooting the ball. And it was just a bad call. It happens. Those things happen. But unfortunately, Lowry was victimized there.
And the Raptors ultimately got the loss.
In that situation, and yes, the Raptors got the loss. Further on the NBA, I want to ask you, Carlos, because I know Ben's opinion of the Knicks at this point. Actually, you can refresh my memory after Carlos. But Carlos, where do you think the Knicks are going from here on in?
This season?
This season and in the future.
I think this season they can make it maybe 7th, 8th seed, not get too far in the playoffs.
Really, you feel like they'll be in the postseason?
Yeah, it's a really weak division actually.
It is. Everybody's terrible.
Yeah, the whole East is actually terrible.
The Raptors are in first. Well,
Yeah.
they were for a while.
Raptors Nets are intertwining.
Yeah, I mean the Nets have improved a lot.
Yes.
They really have found the chemistry to how to play as a winner. I feel like they really last night they beat the Spurs, and I agree. Tim Duncan wasn't in.
They blew them out.
They had their big men out, but still, Ben, I think the Nets have shown a lot of improvement.
Definitely with Brook Lopez being out the center.
Jason Kidd got Coach of the Month, I think.
And Joe Johnson got an All-Star nod for his performance.
And I was very.
Lance Stevenson should have had it, but.
I was skeptical of what Jason Kidd would be able to do at the beginning of the season, especially after he poured the drink on the court.
Yeah.
But I think that what the Nets are doing is playing well with their core. I think that they're playing well as a team, something the Knicks can't do. I feel like Andre Blatch has had a big year.
Sean Livingston is playing better.
Sean Livingston is the heart to that team. I feel like he's the heartbeat.
6'7" point guard.
And
coming up like that.
Mirza Teletovic and help me out. Andre Kirilenko
came on,
have been huge factors to the way they've been playing. But Ben, where do you feel the Knicks are going in the long run?
The Knicks, I believe the Knicks will make the playoffs. The Knicks do have worries about the offseason, but for now, they got to make the playoffs. That's the most important goal for them. And for Mike Woodson's sake, Mike Woodson has been on the hot seat once again. After the loss against the Blazers, he was acting with the refs because the refs made a bad call. So he was antagonizing the refs. So he's showing passion, even though his team's not performing. But teams wins games, and the teams ultimately makes the coach decision.
It's weird though. They're like the funnest team to watch play sometimes.
Yeah.
But at times they're the most boring thing in the world. Like they have no energy.
It's either they do everything right or they do nothing right.
Yeah. And they resort to Melo ball, and they just give Melo the basketball, and they just stand by and watch him play.
Yeah. And no matter how exciting it was to see him score 62 points, I mean, that sometimes is the problem. When he can do that, it's great. But when he can't, and you hand it to Melo, and you say, Melo, let's change the Knicks to Melo. Let's change the name right now to Carmelo Anthony. And he can't do it.
And then when J.R. Smith can't do it, Iman Shumpert can't do it.
Exactly.
It's a whole mess.
That's the problem. And the problem is the players around him don't play when he's playing. And the players, when he's not playing and they're not playing around him, then it's just a complete breakdown.
Yep.
The owner's the worst part of my
James Dolan.
Yeah. But, we've been talking about the Knicks all year long. I'm sure our listeners are grieving every time we speak of them. Would you guys like to pay some respects to a couple of things that happened? Or, Ben, do you have any more NBA news you'd like to discuss?
No NBA news for now. Maybe next week's show we can discuss, but continue, Anthony.
Unfortunately, Mets broadcaster and longtime player, Hall of Famer, Ralph Kiner has passed away. Ralph Kiner, at the age of 91, had a very illustrious career, 369 career home runs. He finished in the top 5 of players in their first 5 seasons to have the most home runs. So that's a very prestigious thing. In names like Albert Pujols, big names. And he was a very insightful man who had a passion for the game. And it's going to be sad to see him gone.
One of the baseball legends, and the whole baseball community is feeling the loss of his death.
Exactly. That's when is when a player, a retired player and broadcaster dies. It leaves an effect on everybody.
On the whole league.
No matter if you're a Yankees fan, a Pirates fan, no matter who you are, you feel it. And other unfortunate news is Curt Schilling, former Red Sox pitcher, diagnosed with cancer.
Wow.
And everybody recalls his bloody sock game.
Yeah.
Yes.
That he pitched against the Yankees in the 2004 ALCS, the biggest comeback, one of the biggest in sports history. He was a warrior and helped complete that. Let's hope that the whole catch-up packet ESPN commercial wasn't true. No, but seriously, I really send my prayers to him and his family and hope that the strong man he is can pull through this. But that's the downside of today's show. And you guys can bring to the table anything you like, because as of now, I'm handing it to you.
Thank you. With the Winter Olympics starting, I have a question to both Anthony and Carlos. Do you care about the Winter Olympics?
Not at all.
Why?
That's not. I feel like the Olympics has really lost its touch, especially the Winter Olympics.
It's winter.
Nobody's really into it. All the reports are just how dangerous it's been, how bad everything is. Nobody wants to have that vibe.
I never.
Sports are supposed to bring people together, make them feel better, not feel
terrorized.
Yeah.
I never been a huge fan of the Olympics. Obviously, it's something great. It's something exciting to see so many people with different talents, but I never even characterized it as a sport that or something regarding sports I would watch.
For me, if the Winter Olympics is not who's making the best snowball, who's shoveling the best driveway, we don't care. Bobsledding, okay, Cool Runnings, that was a cool story and everything. Cool Runnings, cool story. What else? Curling is interesting, but that's about it. Hockey, I'm not a fan of hockey. Are you a fan of hockey, Anthony? Do you care about hockey?
You know what? I want to get more interested in it because I feel like it's interesting, but no, not at this point. I would say I'm a Rangers fan, but I would be a fake Rangers fan if I said that.
I just don't like the overall atmosphere of the Winter Olympics. not many people in America have the opportunity to go snowboarding, to go sledding at that. They have those type of events there, but the outfits of the one of the events, they have a skeleton
helmet.
Yeah, Cinco de Mayo outfit or
a
mariachi.
Mariachi, yeah.
That's
that was
pretty cool.
That was funny.
That's for E! News, but on the sports side of things, I really don't care.
Yeah, honestly, sorry, that's my last on the subject today.
Yeeks.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
It's okay. It's okay.
Well, I think this has been a great episode.
It
always
Carlos,
is.
Thank you for showing up, man.
No problem. Thank
Carlos,
you for having me,
you are welcome back anytime you like.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rob, for being here in the studio.
Rob Jiggity family. We gotta get Rob a show, man.
And here we go with we need Ben's shout-outs.
Felix, Freddie, Franklin, Osiris, Nick, Yuli, Will Kraft, Game Plan, Alex Max, Chris Gelas, Lassay, A-Runs, Big Mike, Chris the Left Guard, Robert Meany, Don Day, Anthony. Let's switch it up. Do you have any shout-outs?
I'd like to shout out.
I never give him an opportunity, so here it is, folks.
Good that you don't, because I don't think I have any shout-outs. No, just kidding. I'd like to shout out to all those who are listening right now. I don't know who you are, but thank you for listening. And definitely, always my parents, my brother, my girlfriend, huge supporters. I don't know if they're listening right now. That's why I can't really shout them out.
Watch it on YouTube.
I will give them a shout out, and I'll give WICR a shout out for letting us broadcast here.
Out here.
And we'll be back next Monday, Ben, and we'll be talking about some more sports.
Yes.
So everybody have a great weekend. We'll be back. Quick turnaround. Monday, couple of days.
We gotta put in work.
Oh, wow.
Boom.
Conversation.
How lucky are you guys? Listen, we're 2 days apart, 2 shows. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.
Rowdy.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
WICR